The Pokemon games are games that intend to do nothing interesting on a narrative level. Though some of the games are regarded as having good stories for whatever reason, none of them truly challenge the player in any way. Their preconceived notions about how our world operates and the kind of person they are go unchanged by the end of the experience. The evil team in Pokemon games is always just evil. Their ideology is so outlandish that they can't possibly have any point or meaning to them. They're just villains in a morality play. There is one game in the series that loosely examines this idea, one game that actively takes the idea of the evil team and discusses it, even if it is in a really limited way. That game is Pokémon Sun and Moon, with its portrayal of Team Skull. They're initially framed to be the evil team of that game, but the game then recontextualizes their situation and reveals their sympathetic material conditions. These people turn to Team Skull due to poverty, and while the game is still a Pokemon game and therefore unjustly Spartan to these people for the conditions that they've been forced to live in, at the very least it attempts some level of discussion about what it means to be an evil team member and doesn't solely have them as a one-dimensional obstacle. The game just mentioned may have come as a surprise, because typically it's not the evil team in these games that acquires the moniker of being the only truly interesting one. That title usually goes to Team Plasma, the team that features in the games Pokémon Black and White and their direct sequels, also known as Pokémon's 5th generation. Team Plasma has an interesting premise to them. They wish to liberate Pokémon from the shackles of humans. Their motivation to end the relationship between trainer and pocket monster, which they view as exploitative, is compelling because it is a valid critique of the material conditions of the world of Pokémon. This would be an incredibly cool conceit if the game actually explored it in any meaningful way, but it doesn't. You see, at the beginning of Pokémon Black and White, we are introduced to Team Plasma and their ideals in a scene that's fairly strong for Pokémon standards. There's a fascinating discourse created between the player and the team here. Is Pokémon battling morally incorrect? Are the power structures at play inherently sinister? Should we question the narrative we have been spoon-fed that Pokémon adore battling each other to the near death? Team Plasma raises all of these questions and leaves us with them. It's a thought-provoking moment and something these games would have done well to dwell on. With that being said, the next time we see Team Plasma, we see them abusing a Pokemon for no reason, which immediately undercuts everything this game's narrative was going for. Team Plasma is just another rote evil team with falsified revolutionary aestheticism. They're functionally just cardboard bad guys again. There's nothing to chew on here. Just Game Freak saying that anyone who has any critique of Pokemon is actually the real villain here. Pokemon doesn't want you to question the base assumption that the relationship between the trainers and the Pokemon who are exploited by them is beneficial to both parties. Yet in this case, it dissonantly raises those questions anyway, if only to stamp them down immediately. Team Plasma's Game Freak's insecurity, their own neurotic egos inventing a straw man of a force of criticism that doesn't really exist. Diegetically, there is an argument that the victims of these systems of abuse actually adore them, and the people who speak out against them are then shown to be secretly evil fascists. Pokemon's systems of abuse are self-justifying in a Thermian fashion, endlessly spiraling exploitation upon exploitation. These are sentient creatures abducted from their homes for the purposes of committing atrocities against each other and performing menial tasks for humans. N was right to want to have freed them from their shackles, freed them from their subservience to humanity. Team Plasma only exists to reinforce that the status quo must exist, because look at how horrible the people who want to free Pokemon must be. Pokémon is a series about the status quo, a series that represents it as the largest media franchise in the entire world. It's only natural then that positionalities that challenge it and seek its destruction would be strawmanned in the way they are in Pokémon Black and White. Team Plasma is an ideological force whose belief system is entirely built on lies solely to express that all revolutionaries are built on lies. It's possibly Pokémon at its most disgustingly reactionary. At the very least, it's at its most direct and transparent. This has been Arcagent Everlasting, who thinks those Team Plasma night outfits look goofy as fuck, signing off. Thank you for watching.